information would be treated as a criminal offence. It comes a day before the country goes to the polls to choose its next leader. Well, let's go live and talk to Sky's senior correspondent Michelle Clifford, who's in Paris for us. So, what do we know about these hacking, Michelle?
Well, what En Marche is saying is that it was a significant and coordinated hacking attack. Substantial amounts of information were accessed and have been published on a sharing site, and that information, they say, includes campaign documents, personal documents, financial information. So a massive information, they say. They are not speculating at this stage about who was behind the hack, but certainly a few months ago when there was another hacking activity, they blamed that on the Russians. But they are absolutely in no doubt about what they think the motivation is. They issued a statement last night, and in that statement they said this operation is obviously a democratic destabilization, as already seen in the United States election campaign, to harm the movement En Marche. Now, the Presidential Election Commission in France has actually warned reporters not to publish any details about what information has been hacked and subsequently leaked for fear of actually swaying any voters. This is a very significant day, Gamal, in the sort of election calendar. Campaigning finished yesterday, voting begins tomorrow, and this 24-hour period is when you have a kind of purdah or silence. There is no campaigning. We don't go into the detail or the specifics of the election. It is meant to be a time for voters to reflect, so the Commission doesn't want information that may come out to sway voters in one direction or the other, for one candidate or the other. In terms of voting, the polls open here tomorrow. The electorate have the choice between the centrist Emmanuel Macron or the far-right candidate Marine Le Pen. And who would have imagined a year ago that they would be the two people in the final for the presidency? The traditional parties, centre-right and left, fell at the first hurdle, at the first round, actually. But voters are still very confused about the choices in front of them. And around 20%, perhaps more, of the population is still saying that they are going to abstain. Now, normally turnout in presidential elections is very high. I think there is a real concern that there could be a very high rate of abstentions.
Michelle, thank you. Well, we'll have full coverage of the French presidential election tomorrow from 7 p.m. when the polls close. So you can watch the election special programme on Sky News at midnight on Sunday.